Hello everyone, this is THG, aka the Skin Gamer, and welcome to my discussion video. I haven't done a discussion video in a very long time on my channel, so I thought about today's video on that. Let's bring it back. So today's discussion video is my 2026 gaming and collecting goals. I saw my friend HG Sleepy did one, so I thought, you know what? Let me give myself a try and do the same thing as well. So talk about my collecting goals and my gaming goals. It's so throughout the year and all that for this new year of 2026 going forward. So anyway, without further ado, let's get started. My gaming goals. The gaming goals of this year are continue playing more games in my collection and all that other stuff. Instead of less buying and adding to the collection, all that stuff. I did that like last year, a few year times and all that other stuff. That's why I did the series a couple years back called the Games Why I've Been Playing series and all that other stuff. And season 6 of that series will be back very soon on the channel. Stay tuned for that. So my gaming goals and all that other stuff is to play more games in my collection and all this stuff and enjoying more games in my collection and all that stuff because I got all the games that I needed and all that stuff somewhat and all the other stuff. So my gaming goal of this year and all that is playing more games in my collection. So yeah, so there is that. And also another goal where I want to do this year is collect like somewhat PS5 games I'm interested in and all that other stuff. But like PS5 games I'm interested in that are really cheap and all that other stuff. Not like new games for like $70 and higher and all that other stuff. I wait until those drop and all that other stuff. Is to see the games I'm interested in and all the other stuff for release on the PS5 and all that other stuff. I'm gonna get it and all that other stuff. So I got like nine or ten games on my PS5 collection so far and all the other stuff. So my goal is to play more modern games and modern games all that for my PS5 and all that stuff. Even though the my PS5 collection is kind of slim and all that other stuff, but I'm interested in playing the Silent Hill 2 remake, the new Resident Evil game coming out, Resident Evil Requiem, which I saw a gameplay of that. The gameplay was really awesome. Um, what else coming out this year? Yeah, those are the games that have been announced this year so far and all this stuff. I'm interested in the Silent Hill 2 remake and all that released like a couple years, 2 years ago and all that, and playing Resident Evil Requiem and all the other stuff, which is newly coming out next month at the end of next month and all this stuff. So I'm interested in those, and also playing my Nintendo Switch more and all that other stuff. So playing my Nintendo Switch more and all this stuff because I've been downloading my PS5 and some older games and all that stuff. I never paid attention to my Switch. Um, not much anymore and all this stuff. So my goal for this year is playing the original Nintendo Switch more and all that stuff. Not the Nintendo Switch 2 and all that other stuff, but my original Nintendo Switch. Playing more games for it and adding some games I'm interested in my collection and all the other stuff. And so ever seen Nintendo games, Switch game I was interested in and all the other stuff, I'm gonna get it and all the other stuff. So my goal for this year all that is play more of my original Nintendo Switch and all this stuff. And the other goal right here is play somewhat interesting more on my PS5 and all the other stuff. So yeah, so there is that. So those are my gaming goals. Now, as far as the collecting goals and all that other stuff, I'm gonna be attending the collecting goals and all that stuff. Hopefully by the summer and all that other stuff. I'm going back to my hometown of NYT while I visit family and stuff. Is to visit Brooklyn Video Games and all that stuff. I've been following them for like a while now. They have a really nice selection of games and all that other stuff. And so what I'm gonna do is that I'm gonna film a video game store of that store in my hometown, in my city, all that stuff. and do some interviews of the owner who working at the store as well and all that other stuff. So stay tuned for that video coming out later in the summer. And so the Game On Expo and all that stuff, I will be telling y'all this year and all that other stuff. But this time everything's gonna be different. For my collecting goals and all that other stuff, I got every system and all that other stuff except for PSP. And because I want to get like a PSP back, because I used to lost mine like 20 years ago and all that other stuff. I used to only as a kid back in 2004 all the way to 2006, but mine was like broken and all the other stuff. So for this journey of this year Game On Expo and all the other stuff, but I'm gonna try to get all the games I used to have for the PSP 20 years ago and all that before it got lost and stolen and all that stuff. And here's a little sneak peek of it. I got one game got crossed off my list, that which I got from my middle school days back in 2008. That is Naruto Ultimate Ninja Heroes 1 on PSP, which I used to have it back in the day and all the stuff during my middle school days, but I got lost somewhere and all that. So glad I crossed off that list. So in this year Game On Expo and all that stuff, I'm getting all the games that I used to have for the PSP and all that stuff. So I'm not gonna review the rest of the games list and all that other stuff until that video and all the other stuff later on and all that stuff. But this is one of the games I'll be crossing off my list. So stay tuned for that. For this Game On Expo video of this year, collecting not only the game for the PSP, also a PSP system and all other stuff with with a memory stick as well, because back in the day we never have a memory stick of my PSP back in the day and all that stuff. So my collecting goals and all that is to like get some of the games I used to have for PSP back into my collection and all that stuff. I want to get the PSP back after 20 years later of loss and all the other stuff. So yeah, so my goal for collecting goals of this year and all the other stuff is to get a PSP back and get 3 other games and all that that I used to have back into my collection as an adult. So yeah, there is that. It's now for the other systems and all that. For N64 and all that stuff, I would like to collect. I would like to get Mario Party 3 to complete my Mario Party set on Nintendo 64, if the price is right, and also Mario Party 6 on the GameCube to complete my Mario Party set on the GameCube as well, and all that other stuff. So yeah, so hopefully if I get those, if the price is right and all that other stuff, hopefully I'll get them. If the price is right, I'll be able to complete those sets on the Mario Party sets on the N64 and on the GameCube. So, and now as far as the other collecting things besides video games and all the other stuff, I would like to collect more Nintendo Power magazines from later the issues that I'm missing that I used to have as a kid from the 2003 2004 era, and also other free game books and other anime magazines and all the other stuff. And also the Naruto collector magazine guys and all the other stuff, and also Pocho Yu-Gi-Oh and Pocho Dragon Ball Z, which I used to have those as a kid as well and all the other stuff, to do more episodes of flip throughs on my channel and all the other stuff. So my goal for this year Game On Expo is to get a PSP system back with a UMC stick and 3 games that I used to have in my collection from my childhood as well, and all the other stuff, to get a PSP back into my collection as an adult 20 years later, and then getting Mario Party 3 on the N64 to complete the Mario Party N64 set, and Mario Party 6 on the GameCube to complete the Mario Party set on the GameCube, which if the price is right and all that stuff. But you know how GameCube prices is and all that other stuff. We'll see what happens. And the other thing and all that is to collect other video game magazines as well, besides Game Informer, Nintendo Power, and all the other stuff. There's also new Naruto magazine from the Collecting Naruto Collector. I have the first one right here. I want to get Collector 2 and 3 to do a flip for videos on. It also Pojo Yu-Gi-Oh, which I used to have it as a kid back then. Also Pojo Dragon Ball Z and all the other stuff. So yeah, so if I get those three and all the other stuff and all this stuff, stay tuned for those future episodes of flip throughs of those and all the other stuff. So yeah, there is that. That is my 2026 gaming and collecting goals for the new year. So yeah, there is that. So that's it, you guys, for this discussion video of my 2026 gaming and collecting goals. Tell me, comment below what your collecting gaming goals of the new year of this year. Leave a comment below. So make sure to comment, like, and subscribe. While follow up with upcoming videos, check out my Facebook fan page. The Facebook fan page is going to be in the description down below. And I'll see y'all next time with another video. Thank you very much, and goodbye.